Welcome, viewing several. Here we go again. I've lost track of the number of episodes. This is like 30 something, 37, 38, I don't know, of my little series that I like to call Hands Up. Who loves the train set? Me! So, got another one for you today. This is a lovely set. I bought this recently because this is an era of Märklin that I didn't have, and they're a rather interesting take on the way they do things. It's very different to analogue DC that we have in the UK for a number of reasons. It's AC, so it's not DC, it's AC, but it is analogue. It also is 3-rail, so it has this special track, which we'll have a look at in a minute, that is has a centre rail, although on the more modern track doesn't. It just has those little studs like we saw on the Ibertren 3N stuff, and also I reviewed a more recent Märklin set that had some digital control on it, and that also had the central ski pickup for the middle studs. Now, this particular one comes with this transformer, which is pretty cool. It says it's for control and electronic accessories, so it will output some. I think it's got an extra output for controlling accessories as well, I think. So yeah, it's this is kind of like one of the starter packs. Now, I think the catalogue that came in it says 1991. So I don't know when they stopped making this type of track. Anyway, let's have a look inside it, shall we? Without further ado. Right, let's get the lid off. Here we are. So we get a few things with it. There's a thing, I think that would have gone, that actually goes over there. It tells you it's a power supply for a toy. I think that's, I've seen quite a few Continental sets that have that. So we got this, looks like it's 91, 92. We'll have a good look at that afterwards. I think these are the instructions, and it gives you some track plans and things. And you've got all these guarantee cards in various languages. Now, this is the set. I must say it looks rather splendid, doesn't it? So yeah, this is the controller. When I first looked at it, it puzzled me slightly because I couldn't work out why there wasn't a change of direction, but of course you just snap it back like that and that's what does it. So the actual it's on, there's a relay on board the Loco which controls the direction, and this will send a pulse to make it go change polarity internally to the Loco. So, well, let's have a look at the track first. Now, can we see that? It's got those centre raised studs that come off that middle conductor rail, and it's got these bits where it clips together. Now, I would say it's like Hornby 00 track, but I think Hornby 00 track was actually kind of copied from the Märklin track, the earlier stuff, because they were the first ones to have this base, this sort of tin plate base, but it is really rather well made, really solid construction, and it looks pretty good. I know some people might not like it, but this system is apparently really good. There's quite a lot of sophisticated things you could do with it, with isolating sections and various other things. I need to do a bit more research on that and maybe try and get some more pieces to play with. I'm just discovering some of these Continental sets, how they're quite a bit different sometimes. In an upcoming video, I'm going to be looking at the points you get from the Loco with the they've actually got the simple points with a manual switch. It has actually got a switch that will switch to the juice to the frog, so they've got live frogs. So there's all sorts of stuff that you wouldn't expect on some of these Continental sets. So this particular one, it is very interesting. So effectively 3 rail, but it looks 2 rail. There's not actually a third rail that you can, it's not obvious, you can't really see it. It's AC, so it's 0 to 16 volts, and then you've got the Loco, which is, it's got that central ski like most Märklin Locos that picks up from the middle. And I'll take the top off this, and I'm going to show the relay mechanism that switches the motor in action. But this is a very heavy, this red piece is all die cast. It's really nicely made. You can just see some of the gears in there. It's a pretty nicely made thing. This is the KLVM 060. They make quite a lot of these. This is quite a basic one, this body, but you can get like a red one with lining and a green one with lining. And I think the picture on the box shows the green one. Now the wagons, let's have a quick look at these. You get 2 wagons with this set, and they're pretty good. They've got these, that's the continental style couplings, which yeah, I mean they're not bad, those. The decoupling has to be done. The automatic decoupling's got a little thing that you push up, so you can couple and uncouple. I think I've got this type of couplings on some of my HOE gauge from Lilliput and Loco, and we've got this one, which is another wagon. Is obviously windscreen wiper. These are both whatever that is, SVF. Obviously they must make auto accessories and electricals. They look gloriously 70s, don't they? And in fact this one might be, because although it says 91, 92 on the catalogue, I don't know if you can see, but it says made in Western Germany. So this is another West German set. So we've looked at some East German Pico sets, and we've looked at a West German Fleischmann set. And this one, I mean, these may have been manufactured just before reunification, which I think it's early 90s, wasn't it? Or was it officially? So 91, 92 could have been just after. Yeah, so it's a great set anyway. Always, both East and West, all the German stuff is of fantastic quality. As I say, I've got Pico, I've got Fleischmann, I've got another Märklin, various different things, and they're always top quality. So yeah, I really like this. So what I'll do is I'll show you this inside this, but before we do that, we'll just have a quick flick through the leaflet, shall we? Right, so this is just, I think this is kind of the instructions, where it just shows you how to stop and go, where to place the thing. So basically, yeah, you just do that, and then to change direction you just give it a flick that way, and it flicks the relay, and then you can go the other way. So it's quite an interesting system. It does make the locomotive a bit more complicated. So we've got some things here that it just shows some track plans, and you've got these lights and signals, and I think all of these can be hooked up. They've all got electrical connectors on them, and it just shows some kind of nice looking little layouts that they've done, and I think there's a page on servicing here. So this tells you some stuff about, I didn't need to do that, I just opened the lid and I just oiled where it said here. I'm not sure what that is, I couldn't see that particular whatever that was. That looks as though it's like the old Triangle. They've got like an absorbent pad that you put drips of oil in to, but I couldn't actually see that when I opened it, but I'll probably have another look, you know. And it shows you there you can actually undo that to replace the traction tyres if you need to. And then we just got this. So this is what I think was the catalogue that says 9192. And again, it just on the right track. It's all about this track. Like I say, I don't know if they still make this. It is quite nice, as we'll see when we run it, but it is quite noisy because of the metal base. Now, I've seen these track packs for sale occasionally, second hand or new old stock. There was one for sale, I think in the HRCA auction, but I didn't bid on it because I didn't really know what it was at the time. So you can see they call it a tender locomotive, even though it hasn't got a tender. That's that one in the catalogue. That's the green one version. I think the other one that I've got is either one of them or one of them. It's in that livery, but it's one of them shunters that I've got. I think it's that one in that colour in the other Märklin set that I've got. And of course you've got all the classics here. You've got the 216, and you've got these rather splendid rail buses which I really like. And now I've got some of this track, I might try and get some of these because I really kind of like those. And yeah, the usual classic carriages there, but they do lot longer coaches as well. And really I should have, you know, a beer wagon really, but maybe I'll have a look out for one of those. Various accessories. This is where it shows all the different types of track, so we'll have to have a look at this because you've got these bits here. I think that might be the uncoupler. Yeah, so it's quite an interesting system. So what we'll do now is I'll quickly show you inside the Loco. Well, I just wanted to show the inside of this Loco for a couple of reasons. Now, I suspect that if there are any German viewers, they will know this already, but as a British modeller, this is something I've never seen before. And that is, I noticed when I tested the locomotive, I applied power to the wheels and the central ski, and I noticed it was only running one way. And then I remember reading in the instructions that there was you flick the controller the other way to change directions. I thought there must be a mechanism inside the train that actually switches the polarity, and there is. Something I've never seen before. So let me just go forward or backwards, and then you flick that and that mechanism goes, and then you go the other way, flick it and you come back. Now that is fascinating. What a great mechanism. That's I mean, in terms of maintenance, that's probably going to be a little bit more difficult to maintain, but how cool is that? Also, this red piece appears to be all die cast, so it is quite a weight, and you've got the reduction gears in that side, and then that motor there. Now, I'm sure it is all very serviceable, being German high quality engineering. How interesting is that? That's brilliant, isn't it? So there we go, that's showing that mechanism. It looks like it's a good runner. So I'm going to get it set up and we'll do some running. What a fascinating piece of engineering in miniature that is. Fantastic. Right, here we are on the track. So it's that time to grab yourself a refreshing glass of something. would probably be appropriate to get some kind of German Pilsner. Unfortunately, I have got Belgian beer, Stella Artois, today, because that's just what I happen to have in the fridge. So, let's run it. So we're going to flip the mechanism to go backwards, and we're just going to bring it slowly round and join up with the train. Now, I'll just give it a hand, because, right, flip that, and away we go. So these wagons look as if they're straight from the 1970s, don't they? But, I don't know, the literature that came with the set says 91, but these wagons aren't featured anywhere in that catalogue that comes with it, and neither are they on the box lid. However, it does show these ones if you do an internet search for the set number. Let's slowly speed up. Now, I think the reason this is quite noisy is because of this metal track base, this tin track bed. Right, we'll do a brief burst of full speed. Now, I've noticed when you go full speed, I think you can, sometimes it thinks it's getting the signal to change direction. I've had that a couple of times. I mean, I would tend to avoid higher speeds anyway, as a matter of course. For demonstration purposes. So we'll bring her back down. Right, let's try that reverse mechanism properly this time. And off we go. Comes back round. So you can see when the relay switches, it does a little jolt, which apparently is perfectly normal. And off we go. Right, what I was trying to say was that this is a completely different system. So this is just a basic oval, and we've already seen that it's AC, centre rail. It is with one direction on the controller. And then you change the direction by flicking a relay on board the locomotive, which is activated by a 24 volt pulse and AC pulse. And I think once you start adding things like points, there's all sorts of clever isolating stuff that allows for quite sophisticated automated running, all in analogue. I was going to say DC, but it's not DC, it's AC analogue. So I've never had any of this type of track before. I do have one other Märklin set that I reviewed, a few episodes back now, that was a starter set. But that was kind of an early digital set, so it had a really kind of low-end digital controller, which actually wasn't great, and the track was newer. It was a newer system, so it was a similar principle with the centre studs and the middle ski pickup, but by then I think they stopped doing this tin plate base. There's a lot of track that was. I recently acquired some Fleischmann track with a rubber ballast base, but it's a system that they don't seem to sell anywhere, and they've sold out of. So I've got a loop but no straights. So I'm going to keep my eyes open for some straights for that one, because it just looked interesting. I've not received it yet. It's coming from Germany, so I'll probably keep my eye on German eBay for some of that. And while I'm doing that, I might see. I suspect I can get a fair bit of this, so I might want to have a look at how they do the points and things on these, because it is quite interesting. So I'm going to bring it down. See if it will go round at that speed. Once it loses momentum and it goes into the tight corners, it might stop. That's literally the setting, the lowest setting on the controller. There's a bit of a gap between 1 and 0, but yeah, I think that's. Let's change direction. Crawl back this way. So I think that's. I mean, it seems like a really nice, high quality set. This. So I am very pleased with that for what I paid. I think I took the seller's offer, and it was like £42, I think. So it's a complete set. And what I didn't realise is you have to have the controller, because it's AC and it has to be compatible with this system, and also you have to have that feature that sends the pulse, that changes direction. So it's a good job the controller is working. I don't know why it's derailing. It's done it again now. It's quite annoying. But what we'll do next is we'll do some closer shots, and yeah, I conclude though that this is a very interesting set. As I say, I've never seen this kind of stuff before, but I rather like it, and it's a real novelty to have that reverse mechanism. Right, I hope you enjoyed that one, and we'll finish up with some running shots.